Ready to ditch the same old LGBTQ plus tropes and find something new to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go global then.
Perfect.
All right, so we're diving deep into some international LGBTQ plus films and series on Netflix and Amazon.
We found some really, really good stuff, both hidden gems and some big hits.
Cool, so we're talking about a curated collection.
Exactly.
And we're focusing on global stuff, right? Not just Hollywood.
Yeah, because we want to see how different cultures are portraying LGBTQ plus stories.
Makes sense, but I feel like love, family, identity, those are pretty universal no matter where you go.
Right, they are universal, but like each culture brings its own unique perspective, right?
Okay, yeah, so give me an example.
All right, so let's start with Greece.
Ooh, Greece, okay.
There's this crime drama called Maestro in Blue.
I've heard of that one.
It's set on this gorgeous island, and it revolves around a music festival.
Sounds fun.
But there's like a dark side.
Of course, there's always a dark side.
So we've got desire, we've got deceit, lots of secrets simmering beneath the surface.
And a music festival. Wow, talk about a clash of vibes.
It's really interesting how they juxtapose that, the beauty of the island with the darkness of the characters' secrets.
And it all unfolds during a pandemic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got this added layer of like isolation and fear.
Oh, wow. So it really amps up the tension.
Big time. The characters are dealing with love, loss, and their own personal struggles, all against this backdrop of a global pandemic.
Sounds intense. I'm adding it to my watch list.
You should.
You also mentioned Italy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Sea Beyond takes place in a juvenile detention center.
Oh, wow. That's unexpected.
It's a coming-of-age story about two young people, Filippo and Carmine, who fall in love while they're incarcerated.
Talk about a challenging environment to find love.
It really makes you question where love can blossom.
And I heard this one caused some controversy.
Yeah, there was a scene, it actually went viral, where the two actresses playing the characters were kissing, and they were interrupted by a nun.
Oh.
Yeah, it sparked this huge debate in Italy about LGBTQ plus representation and how, even a simple kiss can be seen as threatening in certain contexts.
It's amazing how a single scene can ignite such a big conversation.
Right. It shows the power of storytelling and how it can challenge societal norms.
Totally agree. Okay, so we've got love amidst danger in Greece, love and confinement in Italy. What else?
Well, for those who like a little fantasy, Shadow and Bone is back for a second season.
Oh, I loved the first season.
This season, they've introduced a gay storyline.
Oh, cool. Tell me more.
We have Wylan, he's a wealthy alchemist.
Okay.
And then there's Kit, who comes from a completely different world, like a criminal background.
Opposites attract, a classic.
But with magic and monsters.
Right. So we've got danger, confinement, magic, and love blossoming in all these different settings.
Exactly. It just shows that LGBTQ plus stories can thrive anywhere.
So true. And in any genre, it seems. We've got a French soap opera you mentioned. Tomorrow is Ours, right?
Yep. And it follows the lives of several families in this small coastal town.
Yeah. Sounds juicy.
It is. Lots of drama.
And what about this biopic, Alberto?
Oh, that one's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's about a Portuguese poet in the 1970s.
Okay.
And it's actually based on the director's own brother.
Wow, that's really personal.
It is, but it also speaks to this universal theme of finding your voice and living authentically, even when society tells you you shouldn't.
I like that, finding your voice. It's so important, especially for LGBTQ plus individuals who have often been silenced or marginalized.
Absolutely. These stories are about reclaiming that voice, about celebrating love and identity in all its forms.
Love is love.
Exactly.
But, I think we need to acknowledge that there's more to the LGBTQ plus experience than just romance, right?
You're so right.
It's about family, community, finding your place in the world. It's about facing challenges and overcoming adversity.
And I think Peridot does a fantastic job of showcasing that.
Oh, tell me about that one. I haven't heard of it.
It's set in LA and follows the life of a sex worker.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's not just about sex work. It's about chosen family.
Chosen family. Can you explain that for our listeners who might not be familiar with the term?
Yeah, so chosen family refers to the bonds that people form with friends and like-minded individuals who provide support and love, especially when their biological families might not be accepting.
It's like creating your own tribe, your own support system.
Precisely. And Peridot really highlights how important these chosen families are, especially for marginalized communities.
That resonates with me. It's like that feeling of finding your people, your place, even if it's not where you expected.
Exactly.
And speaking of finding your people, there's Benjamin, right?
Oh, yes. Benjamin is a British indie romance.
Okay.
And it's all about that awkward, sometimes messy, but ultimately hopeful journey of finding love in the modern world.
So it's realistic, relatable.
Very much so. It's been praised for its authenticity and its humor.
And it's British, so you know there's going to be some dry wit in there.
Oh, definitely.
I'm always a sucker for a good British rom-com. But before we move on, we have to talk about My Beautiful Laundrette.
Oh, yes, that's a powerful one.
It's set in 1980 San Francisco, right?
Yes, and it follows a gay dancer during the AIDS crisis.
It must be a very emotional film to watch, especially knowing the historical context.
It is. It uses dance as a way to explore the male body during a time when it was both celebrated and feared because of the disease.
That's so poignant, and it makes you think about how much the LGBTQ plus community has endured.
It's a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, but also a stark reminder of the devastating impact of the AIDS crisis.
It sounds like a film that stays with you long after you've seen it.
Absolutely. It's beautifully made, heartbreaking, but also ultimately hopeful.
So we've got love, loss, resilience, and even a bit of magic thrown in. We've traveled from Greece to Italy to a fantastical world and back in time to 1980s San Francisco.
And we haven't even gotten to the Mississippi Strip Club yet.
Oh, right. P-Valley. We can't forget about that one.
That's for our next segment.
Yeah.
P-Valley. It's generating a lot of buzz for its authentic portrayal of Black LGBTQ plus characters.
You know, it's interesting. We've gone from a Greek island music festival to a Mississippi strip club with so many stops along the way. And it strikes me how many of these stories tackle real-life issues.
Yeah, for sure. They're not just lighthearted escapes, are they? They're showing the multifaceted LGBTQ plus experience, the joys, the heartbreaks, the struggles.
Like in the Sea Beyond, remember that scene with the actresses being interrupted by a nun?
Oh, yeah.
It brings up themes of prejudice and acceptance, makes you think about searching for your identity when the system feels stacked against you.
It's a reminder that the fight for equality isn't over for many in the LGBTQ plus community.
It doesn't sugarcoat the realities.
No, it doesn't, but it shows the strength of the human spirit, how important it is to have a supportive community.
And My Beautiful Laundrette, taking us back to the 1980s and the AIDS crisis.
It was a time of unimaginable loss and fear for the community.
And they used dance to explore the male body during a time when it was both desired and demonized.
Yeah, because of the disease.
That's so powerful. They captured that tension.
Yeah, and they celebrate the beauty of life amidst all that.
It's a reminder of how much was lost, but also how art can help us process these difficult emotions.
Absolutely. It helps us find meaning even in dark times.
But these stories aren't just about looking back, right? They offer insight into the present, even the future.
I think so. They spark these conversations, they challenge assumptions, they help us understand each other better.
What are the big takeaways then from all these global LGBTQ plus gems on Netflix and Amazon? What have we learned?
For me, it shows the growing diversity and richness of LGBTQ plus representation.
We're seeing stories from all over.
Yeah, spanning different genres, tackling complex issues.
It's not just quantity, it's quality too.
The shows and films are well-made, thought-provoking, and entertaining.
It's clear that LGBTQ plus stories can be just as captivating as any other story.
Absolutely, and they're resonating with audiences worldwide.
That's so encouraging to see.
It really is. It reflects changing attitudes and celebrates the diversity of human experiences.
It is heartening to see that shift toward more authentic and inclusive storytelling.
It's not about ticking a box,
Yeah.
They're pushing creative boundaries, experimenting with different genres and narrative styles.
Challenging our expectations.
Like what even is an LGBTQ plus story? It can be anything.
P-Valley is a great example of that.
Right.
You wouldn't typically associate a Mississippi strip club with LGBTQ plus narratives.
That's unexpected.
But they use that setting to explore identity, community, resilience, and it's raw and honest and captivating.
It really subverts expectations, challenges us to see beyond stereotypes.
It celebrates the beauty and strength of its characters while exploring the messiness of life.
And it's been a hit with critics and audiences.
People are clearly hungry for stories that challenge the status quo.
Yeah, they want fresh perspectives.
It speaks to the talent of the creators and performers bringing these stories to life.
They're inspiring a whole new generation of storytellers.
We've traveled from those stunning Greek islands to the streets of Delhi to the heart of a Mississippi strip club.
We've seen how these stories transport us to different worlds, introduce us to unforgettable characters.
It makes us think about the world in new ways.
But here's something to think about as we wrap things up.
With all this great LGBTQ plus content from around the world, makes you think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Is this like a real push for inclusivity? Or are we just catching up? You know what I mean?
That's a big question, isn't it? Are we seeing a true cultural shift, or are we just now becoming aware of something that's always been there.
It's like all these stories have been waiting to be told, and now we're finally listening.
Right, and if you're looking to like broaden your horizons and find some new LGBTQ plus content,
it's a really good time to be a viewer.
totally. So much to explore.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is like the most important thing for our listeners to take away?
I hope they get transported
To
different worlds, meet characters who challenge their perspectives, the kind of characters that stick with you.
And maybe they'll come away with a deeper understanding of the LGBTQ plus experience.
Yeah, the beauty of it, the complexity.
These stories, they can really open hearts and minds.
For sure.
They connect us all, right, on a deeper human level.
Absolutely.
So to all our listeners out there, grab your snacks, get comfy, and get ready for a really cool journey into global LGBTQ plus cinema and television.
It's worth it.
Keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep challenging yourselves to see the world through new lenses.